I24 News reporter Shapira brings us the exclusive and moving story of Ran Shemesh, a young Israeli who went on a search of his grandfather's roots beginning in Nazi Germany. With the help of the internet and the Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum, Ran managed to close a circle after 75 years.
It begins with a picture, a young girl and her brother standing in the park just before the war started. 39-year-old Ran Shemesh never imagined that this picture would lead him on a journey he would never forget, one that started 75 years ago in a small town in Germany and that ended in a family reunion he never expected.
I learned about the Holocaust in school and watched movies about it my entire life, but I never really realized how close I am to this subject. Suddenly I understood what happened to my grandfather.
Yochanan Bukovtzer was only 9 years old when he left his parents and his young sister, heading for shelter in France after the Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass. One day, his grandson Ran Shemesh started to take interest in his life story, guided by the only two pictures that were left from that time.
He told me that the two pictures of him and his sister in the park were taken by his cousin, who arrived for a visit just before the war. She had a camera, something unusual in those days, and she took the picture. 2 years ago, I decided to make a special gesture to him, so I scanned the pictures and fixed them in Photoshop. I looked at his sister's picture. She was 8 years old back then, and she really reminded me of my own son, who's around the same age. I really felt connected to her, and I felt sorry for what happened to her.
After a quick look online, Ran found a picture of a cobblestone-sized memorial of his grandfather's sister, Anita Bukovtzer, carved into Berlin's sidewalk. On it was written, Anita Bukovtzer, born in 1930, deported to Auschwitz in 1943. Ran decided to go to Berlin in search for more details about the family, but he failed to find even a small clue. The turning point came after Ran heard a radio announcement of the Yad Vashem Holocaust Museum that called on the public to bring forth more details about Holocaust survivors.
I entered the Yad Vashem website and I started searching people who used to live in my grandfather's town. Suddenly I saw pictures of my grandfather's sister. I know that my grandfather did not fill a page of testimony. Some of the pictures were unfamiliar to me. I was shocked. I looked at the evidence page and I saw that the one who filled this page is named Joanna Schweitzer. I called my grandfather and he was shocked. He asked who gave them the pictures. He said he used to have a cousin named Kate and she's the one who took the pictures.
Apparently, cousin Kate Joanna was still alive and lived in London. Based on the details from Yad Vashem's website, Ran managed to locate her. The Skype call that followed reunited her with her cousin after 75 years of separation.
I remember that the grandmother said he behaved like a man. I remember this because he didn't shed any tears or so.
Reunions of family members of those who were lost in the Holocaust might be rare in our times, but not completely exceptional. Cynthia Rokovsky, manager of the Shoah Victims Name Recovery Project, says that ever since Yad Vashem launched its online database website, more and more stories have come to light.
Third generation is the key to unlocking the answers. They're curious. There comes a point in their lives, particularly here in Israel, but elsewhere in the world, where they start researching their family and their past, and they want to feel a connection. Everybody wants to feel a connection.
Many people are afraid that soon, after the last Holocaust survivor will pass away, there will be no living evidence left of one of the darkest eras of mankind.
Well, there's one picture that comes to mind frequently. I always imagine the moment they arrived at Auschwitz. And I suppose that the Germans separated them and told my grandmother's mother and his sister to go to the right, and to his father to step to the left. I captured this moment in my mind.
But perhaps people like Ran with a little help of modern technology, can guarantee that when the victims are gone, their stories remain alive.